it's Leels, and today we're going to be messing around with some knitting. I'm going to show y'all some basics on how to cast on and things like that, and just make some noises. So, official ASMR teaching knitting video is commencing. To start, I do prefer circular knitting needles, so these are the ones that I own. I'm not sure exactly. These are 6mm knitting needles, and this one is circular, which means it has this plastic that connects the two knitting needles together. Make some noises with those. Little clacky guys. These are metal, so they do sound like metal. I promise I won't poke your eyes out with these, maybe. And then, in honor of the green theme going on, the yarn is green. It's just a little green bit that I'm going to be showing y'all how to knit on. So, you need knitting needles and yarn. If you're actually trying out knitting, you want the yarn to match the size of the needles. Like, I believe this yarn calls for 6 or 5mm needles, and that's why I'm choosing 6mm needles. Usually with yarn, if your yarn's too big or small for the needles, it just won't look right. You'll have big holes. Some people do it on purpose. I've been known to do it on purpose, but this time we're following the rules with my little green thread here. And to start, first with the yarn, you want to make a slip knot. And a slip knot, you just take whatever amount of yarn you want, how long your piece is going to be, because this yarn that you have left over is going to be what you use to cast on with my weird little method. So you take your yarn and you make a little loop like that, and then you just want to pull this yarn through the loop, and you make a little slip knot, and then you put it on one of your needles here and you tighten it down, and you have a slip knot, and now it's on your needle, right? And then, sorry, I think I got my yarns tangled. That's also part of knitting. You're gonna get your yarns tangled. But then, once you have it here, basically, see how it's hanging with two pieces, two strings? This is the loose end. This guy. You wanna take these two fingers and put it between these two pieces of yarn, and then you wanna grab that yarn with these fingers and with that one bit with those fingers. And then you want to take this that you have like this and go like that. And then these pieces, the piece closest to your thumb you go under, and the piece in front of your ring finger like this, your index finger, you want to go under that one like this. And then you want to pull it through this hole down here, and then tighten it down, and you have one stitch. We're going to do that again. Put your fingers through there, a little bit, grab everything hanging, and then twist it like this, and pull underneath and over, and you have two pieces of yarn, and then you just pull it through that hole by your thumb, and pull it taut. That's how you cast on for knitting needles. I'm going to do this a few more times. It gets faster once you get good at it. I kind of enjoy casting on. Maybe y'all can hear the yarn make noise. We'll just do that little bit for this purpose. So you have your little swatch. You've casted on all your stitches there, and then you take your other needle that's still attached, if you're lucky like me, and you have this bit. The bit that's attached to the big ball of yarn is what you want to knit with now. So you ignore your long piece left over, and I crochet first. I learned to crochet before I learned to knit, so I hold it like I'm crocheting. You can wrap the yarn however you want around your other hand. I hold it in my pinky, then around my index finger, wrapped once. Then you want to hold this needle with your other hand, and with this hand, with this needle, you want to go under the first bit of yarn, like that. Under it like that. And then I go under the yarn behind it, and I pull it through the hoop, so you have one hoop of yarn on this needle, and one on the other that you just went through and pulled the yarn through. And this is the scary part, don't be frightened. Where that loop that you went through on the other needle, you pull off and just let it drop down. And you've done it one stitch. And you do it again. One loop, grab yarn, pull it through that same loop, and then you can just knock that guy off. And that's the knit stitch. It's the most basic. Put it through that guy, yarn over, pull it through again, and off. And then you have your little done stitches over on this side, and your not done stitches that you just casted on your left. If you're left-handed, I'm so bad at teaching lefties anything that I guarantee you there are tutorial videos on here. But that's all there is to it. Go through, pull the yarn, pull off. I thought we could just knit together for a second. If you have anything to work on, feel free to do that. But you're just knitting all the way to the end of the row if you're knitting with me. And this yarn down here, you have to kind of pull it out of the middle sometimes. So that's what I'm doing on the side there. Just go through the loop, pull through, until you reach the very end. And you do this for every single stitch, even the very last one that was actually your slip knot, even that one. Every single stitch. And then you'll have one little row at the very end, all your first little knit stitches. I'm going to do one or two more rows. So y'all can enjoy the sounds of this a little bit. Off. Y'all seen, if any of y'all knit, you've probably seen the meme, like, throw it off a cliff at the end. Because if you knit, letting the stitch come off after you do all your loop magic feels like killing it. Like, you're like, what if it disappears forever? It won't. It's part of the process. You're just making lots and lots of knots over and over again. And that's kind of all there is to this guy. Lots and lots of knots. And the tricky part, if you see me like pulling it in, is that when you're trying to make it tight, all these stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, will fall off, because it's just a needle. If anyone crochets, when you crochet, you have a hook, and it kind of holds the yarn on there. It's harder to drop a stitch. When you're knitting, it's easy to lose track of a stitch, and then you'll have a little hole later down in your project that you didn't notice that you lost a stitch, and it fell down in there, and it's gone forever. More talented knitters will go back and pull out those stitches and retry. I usually just give up if it's not too far along, because when you go through to pull all those out, you can't lose another little guy on this, because it'll happen all over again. Yeah, there's your little second row. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stitches. This could be a cute little square or a really skinny scarf. It's really up to you. If this taught you anything about knitting, I'm very grateful, and I hope that you have a wonderful knitting journey. I'm going to make a few noises with this yarn on the mic for you, and I think we'll call it a night. Y'all hear that okay? Just rubbing the knitting I just did. This is what the needle sounds like on the mic. Imagine right now you are the yarn. You are the yarn right now. For some people this is like nails on a chalkboard, and some people really like it. You'll have to let me know. What you think. But there's a little intro to knitting. I hope y'all have a very nice night. Fellow knitters, people who just enjoy the sound of knitting and the visual, all of you, have a nice night. See you again later.